Hi there. Good morning. Welcome. It's nice to have you watching or listening. I wanted to make this video because there has been a lot going on lately, and I have not been writing about it. I have not been sharing about it. In fact, I've been doing quite the opposite. I've kind of gone into hibernation a little bit. I haven't worked out in like over a month. I haven't been eating the best. I just have kind of totally gone inward and really noticed that my vibration, my energy level has been low and slow lately. And I realized that it's, a turn of seasons, and it's getting colder outside and the days are shorter. So I wake up and it's dark out and all of those things. But I've also had a little bit of the intuitive knowing that there's other stuff going on as well. And I have been beating myself up a little bit about the fact that I haven't been writing and I haven't been posting things on Instagram and I haven't been doing all the stuff that they say needs to happen in order to run a business and to be successful and blah, 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 blah. Well, honestly, that stuff just stresses me out. And I know that we are a culture of constant updates, and we are a culture of, touch it and it appears, and instant gratification, and you will get lost if you don't constantly stay on top of things. And that's great. And there are parts of that I totally understand and I can respect about the business. However, that does not supersede my own intuitive needs and desires as a human on this planet, because before I am a massage therapist, or before I am a Reiki teacher, or before I am even a mother or a partner, I am me. I am this woman in this physical human body, and I'm on a journey. I'm on a path, just like you are, just like we all are. And those nudges supersede everything else. So it's been a little bit of a challenge for me and a practice to honor that and not feel like if I don't post 17 tweets a day or 3 new Instagram pictures, I'm going to fall off the face of the planet and never be successful. Well, the first thing in that regard is that I need to expand my definition of what it means to be successful. And I find that I need to expand my definition of a lot of things in my life, because a lot of things are preconceived notions that just, as I grow and move through my life, they just don't really apply anymore, and they don't really make sense. So in any case, I wanted to just talk a little bit about resentment and forgiveness. That has been an underlying or overarching, however you want to look at it, theme to things lately. And I've started to realize that the reason why I am sort of, hunkering down and going inward a little bit is because it's part of the natural evolution of things. And before, expansion happens, contraction needs to happen. And then we expand and then we contract. And it's this ongoing thing. So, resentment and forgiveness. Resentment and forgiveness. I have spent a ton of time in therapy. I have spent a ton of time in introspection. It's something that I love, and I think it's so beneficial and important to all of us. But, I'm not going to get into it. It doesn't really matter. Our past is our past. It is what it is. But I've spent all this time, and I've done a lot of really great growth in terms of how I communicate and how I assimilate with others and how I work with people, and which is great. And that's not to be devalued. However, I'm not done. I got to this point and I've realized that I have quite a large ego around the fact that I think I know better than a lot of people. My partner in particular, love relationships are really great at bringing out our character defects. And I heard once that, being in a relationship is like putting Miracle Grow on your character defects, which I just love and kind of tickles me to think about, because seriously, I just behave really ridiculously sometimes in my relationship with my partner. But hey, it is what it is. This is how we grow. So back to that idea of resentment and forgiveness and how it involves ego. The ego is something that is not just machismo, big muscle guy, or somebody a woman who's like super self-conscious about her looks and, wants to be perfect all the time. That's not necessarily, that is one element of the ego. But for me, where I'm at right now and what it's been rolling around in my brain is that our ego is this thing that is inside of us that is constantly obsessed with either where we should be and daydreaming and wanting that thing out there, or thinking I'm only going to be happy when I get to this point in my career. I will only be happy when I get to be with him or with her. I'll only be happy when I have a child, or whatever the case may be. So the ego either puts us constantly out there, or the ego keeps us way back in the past with all the stupid shit that we've done, all the mistakes that we've made, all the ways in which we think that we have failed. I mean, it's either or, but the ego is never right where we are. And I'll speak for myself. My ego does not want me to be present where my feet are standing right now, sitting at my desk, talking to you with my tea, with my excellent bed head and outfit that I took my child to school in this morning. Thank God I didn't have to get out of the car. That might have been disastrous and rather embarrassing for him. But ego wants us either in the future or in the past. And in the future, our ego tells us that we are not enough until we get there. And when it comes to the past, our ego tells us that we are not enough because we did that stuff back there. That is a lie. That is a lie. The ego lies to us. And resentment and forgiveness come into play with that, because I get resentful towards people who have what I perceive to be that stuff out there that I want. I get resentful and jealous when I see another female, either online or even in my immediate circle, that has something that I want. Ugh, I don't even like saying that out loud, but it's the truth. It's my truth. And I get angry at them because I feel like they have it and I don't, and what's wrong with me? How come they're better? It just becomes this total thing back and forth in my head. Again, all taking me out of the present moment. And forgiveness comes into play because what's in the past, it is what it is. It is what it is. And sometimes that saying can feel or sound rather contrite, but it's the truth. I mean, there's literally nothing that can be done about the circumstances that have already occurred. There's nothing that can be done about the relationship that I got in there, the relationship that I got in here, the relationship that I'm in now. There's nothing that can be done about the fact that I have 3 children by 3 different men. Up until this point, and even still in this moment, it kind of makes my stomach turn to think about that, because that was not what I thought I was supposed to be doing. But would I take it back at this point? No. In my lesser, more confident moments, sometimes I wish like I had done better, but what would that mean? How would that have made my life change from what it currently is now? Would that mean I wouldn't have the children that I have? If that's the case, then fuck no. Excuse my language, but absolutely not. But it's about forgiveness. It's about knowing that, or I shouldn't say knowing. It's about I'm trying to forgive myself for not doing better when I didn't know better. And that's the kind of thing that gets me into trouble, is it's like, how are we supposed to know how to be in a successful relationship if we've never had that modeled, or if we've never really been in one ourselves? Or, I mean, how do we learn to be in a successful relationship? We learn that by being in one and making mistakes and figuring it out. It's that juxtaposition, that opposing experience and characteristics and qualities. And, we got to do the work. We got to do the real-time work. I have to do the real-time work if I expect to get where I want to be. And, then that brings back into the question, well, where do I want to be? Is it a place? Is it like a stop on the timeline of my life? Or is it a state of being? Is it a way of living? Is it an internal experience? Is it a connection to something greater than myself? And as I'm saying these things, I know that they're true because I can feel like the pressure on my heart, the impression, and it makes my palms kind of vibrate and energetic. And I know through my studies with Reiki and my Reiki practice and work with clients, that when I start feeling that energy in my palms, for me, that's how I know that I'm doing the work and calling in that greater power, that source, the thing that's bigger than me, and the thing that reminds me that I'm not the biggest, baddest thing. That source out there that reminds me and my ego that, if I expect to receive forgiveness, I need to give forgiveness. I need to forgive. And, that starts with me and it ends with me, because if I can have a greater level of acceptance for myself, then inherently and inevitably, I'll have a greater level of acceptance for others. And I won't need, I heard someone say just recently, if I can forgive myself, I will never need to really have to forgive another person, because I just already know that they're on their path, that they're sorting their stuff out, they're figuring that stuff out. I won't take it as personally, because I know it isn't about me, or I will know or be more comfortable in the fact that we're just doing the best we can. All of us are just doing the best we can. So there's that. That's kind of where the train of my thought ended, and I wanted to touch base on that because, again, like I said in the beginning, I've had some judgment, some egotistical judgment of, I have to do this, I have to do that, and that just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like what I want to do. What I want to do is sit here and hold my warm tea and look into my tiny little camera and talk to you, all you lovely folks and souls out there, and just sort of riff and let it kind of come through and let my words be my words, and see what happens. I would love to know in the comments what you guys think about that, what your thoughts are on forgiveness and resentment and ego, and that idea of what this person said, if I forgive myself, I'll never have to forgive anyone else again. Because that's still, I think, part of why I stumbled on trying to talk about that and explain that just a moment ago, was because it was kind of weird. I heard it and I'm kind of like, I don't know about that. But, I don't know. That's why we talk. That's why we challenge each other. That's why I put this video out. That's why I write. That's why I work with clients. That's why I teach, because I just want to be part of the conversation, because I love being part of the conversation with you, because it challenges me. It helps me continue on my path and on my process, and that's the share, that's the give and take. So in any case, thanks so much for listening. If you watched, awesome. I'm psyched that you watched. One of my favorite things to do is when people put out videos like this, I'll plug it in my car and listen as I'm driving. I love that because it gives me something else to do other than be in my brain sometimes and obsess, and it also prevents me from getting on Facebook at every single stoplight. So in any case, only love to you all out there, and I have some things that I've been working on, as I said, as I'm sort of contracting and going inward and mulling around some stuff. There will be an event coming up on the 14th of November. Is it the 14th? Yes. Sunday the 14th of November, and I will post that and put that up on my website and send out an email invite and all those things. But in any case, I hope all is well with you in your world. I am sending you only love, and thanks for listening. See you soon.